Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Welcome back to the Patrick Riggins Show. Tori getting a little caught up in the music there, missing the cue.
I like Neil Sedaka.
Yeah.
I like this song.
That is a guy singing.
Yes. Like I said, I always thought it was Carol Kane or
something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I tell you what this song, I tell you, one time I go see a movie, right? And have a date along, of course. Go into the movie theater. It's dry. It's not, anything going on. It's night, though. It's like 9:30 or so when the movie starts. So the movie gets over at like 11 or whatever. But it's late. Go out. It is pouring down rain. I mean, it's like someone's just pouring a bucket out. And it's late, so you can't go in a store and get a umbrella. So we have to run in and out of the stores, the little overhangs, all the way down the street to get to where the car is parked. Of course, the car is parked other side of the street across a broad open span, lots of puddles. So we end up just getting soaked anyway trying to get to the car. So that has nothing to do with anything.
Well, you had laughter in the rain.
Exactly. Well, it was funny at the time. It was.
Ooh, I hear cussing in the rain.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah. Well, you have that... you're out with somebody and you're like, oh, everything's fine. It could be storming and raining and it's
still trying to make a good impression.
Yeah.
And still fronting.
Have
the BS going.
Yeah. And then once you get married, then stuff like that is just a pain.
Oh, yeah. It's when the BS stops.
And they find the real you. That's what scares so many women off with me. They're going, wow, that boy is dark.
And that's why I like it.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, get out now. All right. Okay, kind of going along the same line here as that last segment. I've got a story here that, let's see where it was from. Fox News. That's where it's from. But it's entitled, Afghan Attack Kills 4 U.S. Troops. It was today, actually, and today the 16th. Yeah. So it says, though, 4 American service members were killed Sunday after a man in an Afghan police officer uniform turned his gun and started firing at a remote checkpoint in southern Afghanistan. Afghan officials said the checkpoint in Zabul province's Mizan district came under attack first from insurgents sometime around midnight. American forces came to help the Afghan police respond to the attack. It was not clear if some of the Afghan police turned on their American helpers in the middle of the battle with the insurgents or afterward, or were somehow forced into attacking the American troops by the insurgents. So, okay, somehow the Afghan police might have been forced into attacking the Americans. Yeah, I can see that. Right in the middle of a battle, the insurgents had enough time to get all these people together and make them fight the Americans. Right. This foreign policy is almost becoming, let's see what story they will believe today from the administration. Well, from our supposed allies and from the media. Does anyone else get the feeling that maybe we're being lied to on a regular basis?
Oh.
No. Anyway, back to the story here. Taliban spokesman Yusuf Ahmadi said the police who attacked were not affiliated with the Taliban insurgency. But they are Afghans and they know that Americans are our enemy, he said. The police who have fled have joined up with the insurgency. So, it sounds to me like they were planning on this all along. These police obviously decided before joining up the insurgency they'd build some street cred by killing Americans. Anyway, in the story, so far this year, 51 international service members have died at the hands of Afghan soldiers or policemen or insurgents wearing their uniforms. At least 12 such attacks came in August alone, leaving 15 dead. The checkpoint attack was the third attack by Afghan forces or insurgents disguised in military uniforms against international forces in as many days, killing 8 troops in all. So why is this happening? Why are our friends shooting at us? Let's read another story from yesterday. It's entitled, Afghan Officials Say 8 Women Killed in an Airstrike. Afghan officials say a NATO airstrike killed 8 women and girls who were out gathering firewood before dawn in a remote region in the east of the country. The coalition says it believes only insurgents were hit. Isn't that the same story we're told over and over? Only insurgents were hit. Of course. The way we count who is an insurgent and who isn't, then I guess only insurgents were hit, because we count just about everybody as an insurgent. The story also goes on, 7 injured females were brought to area hospitals for treatment, some of them as young as 10 years old, said a provincial health director. I guess those were insurgents as well. It says also they may have been 5 to 8 Afghan civilians killed in the strike, said Captain Dan Einhart, a spokesman for international forces in Afghanistan. He said they were still investigating the report. Protecting Afghan lives is the cornerstone of our mission, and it saddens us as we learn that our action might have unintentionally harmed civilians, said Jamie Graybeal, another spokesman for the international military in Afghanistan. So now we're admitting we might have killed some civilians as well. And to do a little CYA, the Afghan president Hamid Karzai said he strongly condemns the airstrike by NATO forces, which resulted in the deaths of 8 women. A statement from his office said, he said the Afghan government was also investigating. With this going on, we sit over here in this country and wonder why these people don't like us. To counter these types of stories, we are told the insurgents will fire on their own people in order to boost the number of civilians killed in order to anger the population. So we can't win. If we somehow miss the civilians and only kill the bad guys, then the bad guys' friends will make sure some civilians get killed and blame us for it. The Afghan war is not winnable, not in the sense we are used to. These people have been fighting for generations. Why are they all of a sudden going to stop and play nicely? Because we told them to? Because we're going to make them? They have to want to do it, and they have demonstrated they don't. These people are not ever going to clean up their country until they decide to do it. So what's the alternative for us? I think it's pretty simple. Either we commit to wiping out a large part of that country's population, or we get out. We have been involving ourselves in wars that never lead anywhere. We don't have an exit strategy. We don't have a clear leader we can eliminate, or that we can who can commit their country to surrender. So what do? Well, we sit around pondering it, and all this time our soldiers are being killed, our nation is being bankrupt, and our rights and freedoms are being taken away. So who's winning in this scenario? Because someone must be, for us to be continuing with it. Bureaucratic momentum can't explain it all. The truth is the governments are winning. Our government is getting to spend loads of money on fighting and weapons, which raises our representatives' campaign donations from the companies profiting from these escapades. The other country's government wins because it gets loads of money and assistance from our government, which means it gets our money, the taxpayers, because the only money our government has is ours. All of the leaders' friends over there and associates get loads of money as well, because they are the ones doing business with us over there. So they all get their cuts. So who gets screwed? Well, it's us and them, the citizens of their country and our country. We get screwed because we are spending money we don't have and giving up freedoms for a war that is not benefiting us at all. The citizens of that country get screwed because their government has an interest in keeping the problems going, because otherwise, if the job gets finished, we leave, and we take a lot of money with us. Although I'm sure we'll continue to pour foreign aid into the country, which their leaders are all too eager to accept. So, we're up on the last segment of the show here, last break. This show just flies by. I tell you, we've got so much information, and I hope you guys are making note of it and thinking about what you're going to talk to your congressman about. This is Patrick Riggins with the Patrick Riggins Show. We'll be back after these messages.